What a topic. What a topic to come back to Mavs content to start with. What is up, everyone? Bird brothers and sisters, MFFLs, Lindy End Zone in the building for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles, one video at a time. And I am finally dropping some buckets again for the Dallas Mavericks. And, well, we are, we're gonna get into it, but before I do, you guys already know the deal by now. If you like the diversity of fandom that I bring to the table, love to have you a part of the End Zone fam. And easiest way to do that is to hit the subscribe button. I have to kind of get out of this, like this pause button kind of spot that I'm in with YouTube, and I've been stuck in the 200 to 210 range, peaking at that for the longest time. And while I've stated before in a previous video with the future of my channel, a lot of that has to do with me with underperforming and everything, and I got to do a better job of that. I got to do a better job of advertisement with what I'm trying to do with my channel here, but one day at a time. And all right, well, as the thumbnail says, I'm disgusted, I'm disappointed, and I'm ashamed to witness my favorite player in the NBA, my favorite player that's on the team that I love to support, go from this to this. What happened? Luka, what happened, man? And now, we heard the conversations that, for three, he hunkered down for 3 weeks in the middle of like this quarantine or whatever. And he got a little bit celebratory and, respectfully so, especially going right from the NBA playoffs to, participating in the Olympics and try and create a heroic story for his country that was finally eligible to play in the tournament since the 1930s. And while he didn't get them there alone, but he was the driving force, and them getting a fourth place finish with just him as the most notable best player on the team, and USA being stacked every year, and the other top countries that were involved that got silver and bronze. And so there's celebration there. There's celebration with him signing his big first post rookie deal, his first big extension in the NBA, another dream of his. And being in his home country, and just having those two things combined, it's a lot to celebrate. It's a lot to be proud about. But at the same time, I mean, this is the second year in a row that he's come into the season overweight. And while last year and, well, year two is when it started a little bit, but it was last year which you noticed that he was getting there. There was a bit of a concern, and now it's just continuing to now it's continuing to get worse. And I understand, Mavs fans. I understand. There's From a roster standpoint, there's still an issue. And while the narrative still remains the same that Luka does not have enough help, which it's unfortunately it's still true. Okay? I know. Unfortunately, that's still the case. However, when I look at this, and I know him as a player coming into the league, he was rated about 225 to 230. As a kid his age, it's only about 6'7", 6'8", because I don't necessarily consider him 6'9". He doesn't look 6'9" on the floor to me. I see him as 6'7", 6'8". To be that tall, around 225 to 230, is almost a perfect weight, especially for the position that he plays. You have to have one of the highest motors, one of the highest levels of stamina to not only play in the NBA, a professional sport, and that goes across other professional sports. Not only do you need the stamina to do that, but you also need the stamina to play Luka's position as the primary decision maker on this basketball team. You are the point guard of all positions. It's most important. You're the one that dictates the flow of the game. You're the one who has the ball the most in your hands. You're the one on this basketball team that primarily decides wins and losses. This team looks to you as their leader, as their franchise player. And I just, it's boggling my mind after watching what he has done to this point, and 2 first-team All-NBAs and Rookie of the Year, All-Star appearances in such a short time span. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And yes, while it's not necessarily hampering his performance, because he's still, to this point, he's still a triple-double waiting to happen. Last night's game against the Brooklyn Nets, he had 25 potential assists. You know how deadly of a playmaker that is. And he's still getting up his typical average numbers of 25, 9, and 8. Or vice versa. And I can actually quick check that right now so I can be accurate with this. Luka up to this point this year is averaging 26, 8, and 9. There we go. I had it backwards. 26, 8, and 9. He's, like I said, he's still a triple-double waiting to happen. But when it's not really a deterioration. It's more of neglect. And when I see this kind of thing, when I see this kind of thing, it's really such a disappointment. I mean the Mavs to this point are a disappointment. Obviously, it sucks. It sucks. And despite the coaching changes, we're still an average basketball team, even below average, even with Luka. That's how the team's playing right now. Yeah, we're the 7th seed in the West, but the rest of the West, besides Golden State and the Phoenix Suns, everyone's pretty much underperforming in the Western Conference. The East, for the most part, is a bloodbath. And I mean, yeah, we're only 23 games in, and this is an extra chance for Jason Kidd as the head coach, and we have a new executive and GM executive Nico Harrison and all the other assistant coaching changes. Yeah, that's all fine, and that bodes very similar to what my Philadelphia Eagles are going through this year. Besides a GM change, which I think a lot of Eagles fans would like to this point, but that's besides this video. It's besides this conversation. I get it, and I get it, but even with those changes, this team doesn't seem to be any better than last year, especially at the start right now. And I mean, as well, let's look at some of the statistics here, guys. Let's take a quick look. Points per game. Now, this was one of my issues. This was one of my issues when we were going into this season. To which, yeah, I get Jason Kidd as a defensive-minded coach. But my concern is that if you have a bigger predication on defense, how much is that going to affect the offense? Like, you can't there can't be a teeter-totter effect. You have to balance it out at some point. And up to this moment, it hasn't happened yet. The team is 25th in points per game. We're the 5th worst offense in the NBA in terms of points per game. Now, you can chalk that up to whatever you want. You can chalk it up to Luka being in and out of the lineup. You can talk him between Luka, Porzingis, bad big man rotation, players underperforming. It's still a fact of the matter, and it hasn't been fixed yet. We're almost a quarter of the way into the season. Time is slowly becoming of the essence, because this is the kind of basketball that doesn't lock you a playoff spot. Opponents' points per game. So defensively, in opponents' points per game, we're 12th. That's pretty good. You'll take that. Fringe, top 10, just above average in terms of opponents' points per game. It's pretty good. You'll take that. But your offense has to be better than that rating. Now, does that more define how good of defense the Mavericks are playing, or does that define the level of competition that we have faced up to this point? You be the judge. Offensive rating, we're 8th. And to think a couple of years ago, we were the number 1 offense. But of course, our defense didn't back it up. We were 4th worst because we were so high-powered. All of our energy was focused into offense. And while that's changed this year to a fault, defensive rating is a little bit better, but not by much. To this point, we're 18th. That's below average. Net rating, we're 7th worst. And it doesn't get any better that we were expected to this point to be 10-13. So we were expected to lose one extra game. This is not good. This is not good. Whether it's been Reggie Bullock or Sterling Brown being underwhelming, Porzingis still not quite healthy. Luka being overweight, following Zion's fitness program. This is stressful. It's stressful, and once again, Luka's a game time decision tonight. Still having ankle soreness. Cauley Stein's still out for personal reasons, and somebody else is a game time decision that I don't remember. You know what? at some point I got to get back into the film room and figure out what's going on with this team. But ultimately, that's up to you guys. If you guys want to see me do that kind of those kind of videos again, if I was informative enough, if I was knowledgeable enough, in wanting me to do film rooms, I can do that. Uh, I would love to do it, but it's all in how that kind of content's received. But yeah, I mean, I tried to condense this. I tried to condense this as best as I could, but being it's been such a gap between my Mavericks content and Eagles content, I had to get some thoughts out there. So I mean that's why the video carried as long as it did. But if you made it to the end, I truly appreciate it. I, you know, I love having an audience of that regard. Um, it shows that it shows that you appreciate and respect my opinions on the teams that I cover. So, um, Mavs fans, let me know down in the comments. I mean, we have to be sharing the same irritations and concerns to this point, and oh, I can only imagine the backlash that would happen if Dallas loses tonight to a Grizzlies squad without John Morant. But this is the same Grizzlies squad that pretty much dropped a nuke on the OKC Thunder the other day. So yeah, anything can happen, but this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But all right. Um, I think that's it for me. This video is carried on long enough, but I needed to get some stuff out there, and yeah, please do let me know if you would like to see some film rooms of previous games. Let me know. I would love to do it for y'all, but it just depends. I felt that the last time I did it, I don't necessarily know if they were received very well, but if they're liked enough, then I'll continue to do some film rooms. But with that said, I'm gonna get out of here. MFFLs, Bird brothers and sisters, fly Eagles fly, bleed green, go Mavs, MFFLs. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And for Lindy here, I will see you.